Wait.
Hey everyone, Choke That Radio's back. I'm your host Jim Russell, along with Currency. How you doing, sir?
All well, all well, all well. Here we are.
Yes, here we are on a Saturday morning, October 1st, 2022. We're heading into the fall. We are in the fall wrestling season, and then once we get to Survivor Series after that, it is the road to WrestleMania, right? But before we get to WrestleMania, just wanted to give a quick send out our condolences to the Inoki family. Rest in peace, Antonio Inoki. Last night, I died, I believe, the age of 79. And as I was telling you, Currency, right before we jumped on, founded New Japan Pro Wrestling. Of course, politically wanted to get involved in Japan, or has been involved in Japan, and wanted to, strengthen the ties with North Korea. That's hence why they had the Collision in Korea event in '95, and just always thought outside the box, including mixing pro wrestling with combat sports, with boxing, right, with Muhammad
Mhm.
Ali. So shout out to him. Most importantly, right. Um, the second thing I did want to just jump on, let's just the elephant in the room is the White Rabbit. What do you think of this creative way to reintroduce whoever it is, and do you have an idea of who it is?
I think it's Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt off the bat. There's no way like the White Rabbit theme is not like involved with a character from Firefly Funhouse. This is like this is probably Triple H's work in the making. He definitely wants to probably take time with this. Probably wants to bring in the ideas of like Easter eggs with like Marvel and make it into like WWE, where like there's one meaning behind this certain segment that ties into a storyline, and then it correlates to a different motive for another situation between two other wrestlers. But White Rabbit is definitely Bray Wyatt. No matter, nobody else is gonna change their mind. Like we're probably waiting for him Survivor Series for sure.
What? Yeah. What are your thoughts? No, there's a rumor that they're going to reveal who it is in Extreme Rules next week. So, what are your thoughts on the creative way to introduce? I think you kind of alluded to this, like the Marvel MCU movies with the Easter eggs. Like, for example, I think in the Extreme Rules logo, the Firefly, and then of course everyone
Mhm.
is correlating to his past promos or past interviews, right? And making those connections. What are your thoughts on the very creative way to kind of, I guess, reintroduce Bray?
It's good, but I don't see like a multiverse side to this. I just feel like they should just make it as concrete as possible. As far as like the segments, and like it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see because it keeps the wrestling fan intrigued. Like, oh, when are we gonna see this Firefly fun these Fireflies Easter eggs come out? Like, how can they come out? It keeps a person very intrigued, but it shouldn't be used as a way to just manipulate that one segment. And you know WWE how they are. They will manipulate it and then make it as anxious to see it, and then when they see it, it's like it's okay. But as far as it's gone, it's white hot right now. It's great. It's awesome. Like let it keep going. Maybe if they really want to make it like, I guess, in a way like more interesting, maybe show it Extreme Rules, or maybe show a preview of Bray Wyatt at Extreme Rules that he's coming on another day or anything like that. But something that is gonna be like keep people's on their toes, just to.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. If it's going to be Bray, why not? It's going to be in Philadelphia, right? So I have a feeling if it's not Bray, if it's going to be like someone else, I think it'll be a big letdown. And Philadelphia will let them have it, right?
Right.
Perfect example be like when Roman Reigns won the Rumble in 2015. They
And
crapped
Daniel
all
Bryan
over
didn't
that.
show up. They
Yeah,
wanted Daniel
exactly.
Bryan to come out.
Yeah, exactly. So they crapped all over that, right? So we'll see. No, but I think and I agree with you. I think if it's gonna be Bray, it'll definitely it should be at a big spot, right? Definitely should be like on a Raw, unless unless whatever. But I think at a premium live event or pay per view should be a better re-debut of Bray Wyatt. Now, I just wanted to transition real quick into like what are your thoughts? I know the last time we connected, And episode's not out yet, but I will start putting them out. We spoke. It's funny because I'm gonna put this out first, and then the other, and then that one. So I'll probably be a little bit heavier. But long story short, Triple H, right? So obviously, we know what happened with Vince. Of course, with the hush money, right? Close to $20 million in hush money, forced him to step down. What are your thoughts on this Triple H era so far, my friend?
It's gonna transition it from sports entertainment to just sports. That's what I really think it's gonna come down to ultimately. Just because they now WWE could be more of a trusted company rather than just like a well-known billionaire independent company, pardon me. But that's how it always felt. Like you're a WWE fan is because you watched it and you're still into it. Like you have not let it go. But as far as like Triple H's WWE, it feels like it's like NFL season in September towards December. Then it's WrestleMania season, so that's its own season, and then the summer is its own season as well. And that's where like they go on tour to Europe, and we keep up with like wrestlers and their lifestyles and like how they work out and the promotion regarding those kinds of things. But it feels fresh, it feels new, it feels like there's actually something there. And I think it hasn't even started yet. Like the Bray Wyatt maybe has been a long time coming. I feel like he's been signed and he's just been quiet. No pun intended to the hush money, right?
Right, exactly.
Um, but he's basically, I think he's been signed. This is probably like a Vince. It feels like a Vince idea, to be honest with you, because I feel like they know storylines like way ahead of time. Um, just because Roman has not defended, I feel like that's going to be where he steps in, which is why I'm not totally convinced that Bray Wyatt will come in Extreme Rules.
Right.
But I definitely do think that Triple H's like era is gonna be more than just like Easter eggs here and there.
No,
Like
of
it's gonna be
course.
more than that. I think it's gonna be like we've already seen it with the match cards on Raw, like fresh new matches. Like it feels new, and if it's just like if he could like if he could find his own way of like booking a storyline like weekly storylines, like 2 week storylines, 3 week storyline, it will keep the regular fan more in tune, like monthly, like they could probably even raise the prices on Peacock and make more revenue off of that. And
Yeah.
it's gonna be they're gonna get the right thing started to make it a good spiral.
No, I agree, 100%. My assessment of Triple H is his first event was at SummerSlam, right? That was like the first event he ran. Of course, that was all Vince's booking, right? So a lot of those storylines had to, I guess, wrap up. But he did a good job, I
Mhm.
thought, booking SummerSlam. I think he did even a better job at Clash at the Castle. Of course, I felt that Drew should have gone over, but I get it. I get the long story booking with Roman, but I think he did a good job rebuilding Drew because I felt that Drew did his thing during the pandemic era and in the Thunderdome era, excuse me, and I felt he was like lost in the shuffle for a lot of 21 and 22, but I'm glad he was able to rebuild him using the Broken Dream song, right, to kind of
It's
reintroduce
awesome.
him. Yeah, it was just awesome. What are your thoughts like assessing him from, I guess, from SummerSlam till now, especially particularly that event? What are your thoughts, even like the way he ran that event?
Can I assess him from 2020 Thunderdome to now?
Yeah, sure, sure,
He
absolutely.
carried he carried Raw. I think he was one of the main ones to carry Raw, and wrestling throughout the pandemic. Like he was white hot. Everybody wanted him champion. No, I don't know what happened. He defeated Brock Lesnar. He was champion.
He
It was
lost to
good.
Randy, and they won it back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, no, he's been lost in the shuffle all last year on 2021. 2022 has just been it's funny because with Drew, I don't think his like momentum comes down. Like when a wrestler comes down to like that level, like goes up to that level where he's champion and then comes back down and loses it, they lose a little bit of like momentum. But I think Drew is literally like picking up the pieces little by little. Like his white hot meters like here,
Yeah,
and like he dropped the title, that doesn't drop him down here. He just stays there and he's gonna just keep going little by little. Clash of the Castle just boosted him up
yeah.
and made him into like the fan favorite all around Europe. So
Yeah.
like be careful with Drew McIntyre. And it's so cool because the momentum that's gone with like that level, like that's gone with up with his momentum, like his own like meter. Um, Roman Reigns is like literally right there.
Yeah.
So the long-term booking is like goes by like who's done better, who's gonna bring in more revenue, who's gonna bring in
Or
more
merch.
seats, more
Yeah.
people in seats.
Mhm.
And I think I love that. Like that has to be probably I know like where this is going. This is gonna be there with this is gonna be the new generation Austin Rock.
Yeah.
Because if they keep this going like the way like it wasn't meant to be like this because people wanted Drew to win Clash of Castle, but you know people don't get what they want, right?
Yeah.
But it's given time for Roman to make like his bloodline like stand out. Is given that time. Like I'm white hot about McIntyre in Cardiff in Wales,
Yeah.
but I'm also high on the bloodline and Solo Sikoa
You go.
and the Usos and Sami Zayn being the honorary Us. Like it's gotten to that level. Like I don't know where to go. Let them keep doing this. So I know, like we know who's gonna stand out the most because if you give them that long term booking, and this is proven, like this is shown how long term booking works. But like Drew McIntyre's long term booking and Roman Reigns long term booking, it calls for a WrestleMania match. It
No,
calls for
no.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's a definitely backup plan. So like looking ahead, right? Looking at a couple of months at Mania 39, right? So of course it's Hollywood, SoFi Stadium. Everyone wants Rock Reigns, right? So obviously we all know Dwayne. Dwayne's a very busy guy. He's a multimillionaire now in Hollywood. I think he got paid for Black Adam 20 million plus alone, right? So with that being said, do you will we get that match, right? And if we do, when do you think that build will start? And if not, I guess the plan B, I guess, could always be Drew and Roman in a return bout, which I wouldn't be opposed to it. A lot of people probably would crap on that. I like Drew personally. A lot of people think that his personality is not there, his charisma, but I think he's done a lot better over the past year or so, as you mentioned, especially during the pandemic era, and now I guess in 2022. What are your thoughts? Now Mania, Rock Reigns, does it happen? And if it does, when do you think the hype begins? And if not, I guess we get Drew Roman, right? Well, I guess I don't know. It's the only logical match.
Right.
It
So
seems.
where the hype begins for both matches. Okay. So Roman and Rock, Roman has clearly like shown that he's the main bloodline guy. Rock has not done that. So this wouldn't be a concern about the bloodline. This would probably be a more of like who's the superior guy in WWE, right? So a match like that will probably happen at Rumble where like you have like the bloodline like taking everybody out and maybe like even Roman loses his title, so he'll probably fight Drew McIntyre. So you see all the bloodline in the Rumble, and Drew McIntyre has a belt at the time, and Roman is probably one of the ones to like be like chasing the title at WrestleMania, and maybe somebody like I don't know if Roman could drop the belt and win it back, or he just stays champion and the bloodline's in the Rumble and Rock comes out and takes out all the bloodline. And that's how you create that match. So that's where I think that would be built. I don't think it will be necessarily built around this time, especially with like there's so much going on with the bloodline and like how Paul Heyman is gonna like pretty much build bloodline to what it actually could be. Because I don't think it's fully there yet. It's just there. I think with like Solo Sikoa and the rest. But putting Drew into perspective, if Rock can't make WrestleMania, Drew has to face
It's
Roman
gotta be. That's the only
because
logical
that's
match,
the
right?
only way Roman's gonna drop a title.
Right.
It's not gonna be Seth. It's not gonna be Sheamus. It's not gonna be none of those guys. It
AJ
has to be.
Style or
It's
no
not gonna be
Finn Balor, none of
no.
those guys. Yeah.
Drew McIntyre is very similar to Roman Reigns in like his athletic profile, and he has a look of a champion, and you've seen it at Clash of Castle. Like he made that crowd go wild. So if he's gonna do anything similar to that, it will be at WrestleMania where his underdog story comes to an end, and he's carrying that torch for for WWE at Mania.
Mania.
But
Okay.
where I would see that build made is I think he could align himself with Sheamus and Butch and Rich Holland and he faces the Bloodline in Survivor Series in the War Games match.
Okay, and kind of built
That would where I think that build will happen. Mainly because it'll be like they'll have time to like have like the two groups face each other. Then you'll see like the breakup between Sheamus and McIntyre, and then that's where you see all those guys disperse, and you could put them in the like fatal four-way matches in the build to like him like branching out and facing Roman again. But yeah, that's where I would see things coming fresh and handy for both.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think if Rock Reigns happens, I think if he's not signed by Royal Rumble in January, I think that match is not going to happen. But I think the backup plan, I wouldn't be upset. I actually like Drew, so I wouldn't mind Roman Drew 4 or 3, whatever match it is. I think it's like 3 or 4. I can't
I think it's
remember, like
four.
4, right?
Four.
So I can't. I'm not opposed to Drew Roman 4, right, at Mania. So that's what I think. I also think that Roman Rock does not need to be for the title, but I do think that somehow Roman, I don't think should lose till Mania because I think he's had such a long run, a 2-year reign at this point, probably one of the best reigns since like you're talking like uh the 80s with Bob Backlund and those days with Bruno Sammartino where those guys used to have the belt for like 3 years at a time, right? So it's like the Hogan era, right? Like that era. So yeah, I mean I don't see it. It doesn't have to be for the belt. Obviously it's the match, the storyline writes itself, right?
Right.
Who is the superior person in the bloodline, right? And then years and years of generations of Samoans, right? You have the head shrinkers, you have the wild Samoans, right? Involving the Roman's dad. Of course, you have Rikishi, you have the Usos, you have Jimmy Snuka, right? So it goes on and on, right? Peter Maivia, it goes on and on, right? So there's
Maga.
yeah, exactly. Umaga, the story writes itself, right? So it doesn't need to be for the belt, right? But I do think that I don't think it needs to be for the belt. It could be for one of the belts, but I do think that one of the belts should be taken off Drew because I think it hurts Raw,
Should be
especially.
taken off. Yeah, should be taken off Roman because
Yeah,
it does hurt one of the promotion brands, especially because Roman's on SmackDown.
exactly. I agree.
You're more inclined right now to watch SmackDown than Raw, especially because there's just no title belt holder at Raw. There's no that one guy. Like Seth has been doing very good.
Yeah,
So that creates a branch for Drew and Seth and Raw. That creates different matches. So yeah, like maybe they could just like honestly like
just
have
strip
the
him or
yeah
something.
yeah
Take the belt away.
strip them like this is what you could hold the title that you have held so long, but this title needs to be in that brand.
Or they could just like go back to the well. Like I don't know if you remember. Well, he was young, but it's okay. You've probably seen it during the Ruthless Aggression era when Brock Lesnar was signed exclusively to be the SmackDown champ, the WWE champ, and they brought back the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw back in 2002. They could do something like that as well. Well, they don't have to strip
Right.
them. They could combine Roman's belt and they could bring back the World Heavyweight or just do a new World Championship, right, or whatever. So just an idea out there they could do, right? But I do think that it hurts. I agree with you. It hurts him that he's like the undisputed champ because, like you said, there's no one fighting for that world championship, right? On you just see a bunch of storylines on Raw. No one's fighting for number one contendership for the world championship. There's no world champion Monday nights, right? So
Yeah, and either way, we're not gonna see him defend each title. That's clearly not gonna happen.
yeah, and he's on a
So
lighter schedule too.
combine the two, make him a WWE Undisputed, whatever it's called, right? A
Right,
WWE
exactly.
Universe,
WWE Universal
Universal,
Undisputed.
yeah, the Universal Undisputed Champion. That's it.
Yeah, right.
And he's the undisputed champion, and he could go against Rock because Rock was undisputed champion too.
He was. Yeah, he was.
So that could be a SmackDown storyline too, because I that'd be great. He could probably show up for a SmackDown event, and it goes off from there. But as far as like bringing a new title in, or bringing that world heavyweight champion in, Triple H is that guy to do that.
Oh,
Like
absolutely. He
I
should.
see that.
That's what I think what should happen. Actually, honestly. So we'll see where that goes, right? So just real quick, I'm gonna put this out, and of course, I don't want people to just listen to it past next week, but I am gonna talk this, and then we'll get into AEW a little bit, right? So what do you think? Like the Extreme Rules card, I actually like the card this year. Is actually extreme as opposed to other years. No, you have Liv Morgan and Ronda. Just real quick, what are your thoughts on this and who wins? Like, let's do some predictions real quick. Who do you think wins between these two?
I think Ronda. I think they've been going at it so long that if they don't give Ronda this, then it's gonna hurt Ronda's profile as a wrestler. Like it's gone on way too long. So like I think the favorite is Liv Morgan, but Ronda Rousey going in as an underdog is just I think it's a different story. Like just because how Liv has been defending this whole
I
time.
I think yeah, I think Ronda should win. I think Liv Morgan, she hasn't gotten the most positive reaction, and yeah, I think it's
Right.
time. She just for me, she hasn't been a believable champ, but that's just my opinion.
Exactly, because when she was believable is when she was the underdog. Now
Right.
she's not the underdog, so that does not the story
Exactly.
the champion on her does not give her the greatest picture. And yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Well, on the other side, on Mondays, Bianca versus Bailey in a ladder match. Who do you see Bailey getting her title back? Do you see Bianca getting a longer run? What do you think happens here, especially with her control damage faction, Bailey?
Do not be surprised if Bailey wins this one. But Bianca Belair has been proven to be one of the best that has done it. I'm very high on Bianca Belair, but Bailey coming back and then the ferocity is different. Bailey's bringing something fresh. It shows a character of Bailey that we haven't seen with her new stable. And yeah, just don't be surprised if Sasha Banks, whoa, Bailey takes the belt off of Bianca, because that's probably one of the only persons I'll be happy that be taking that belt off her.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, she's been a good company person, Bianca, as far as doing a lot of charity work and all that. But yeah, but I agree with you. Bailey's something new, something fresh, and I like seeing Bianca Chase better than her being champion. I just my opinion. All right. So also the next match I want to discuss with you, the Fight Pit match, aka what do you call that? A scripted UFC bout. Seth Rollins against Matt Riddle. I like this rivalry a lot. Who do you think takes this one?
I think they both knock each other out, and such it ends in a no contest. They're not done yet. They're not done yet. So the way they could go about this is just they're gonna carry on the storyline and make this like make a crazy stunt. I don't know how the fight pit match is gonna work. I'm not sure about the rules of like how it might look. Maybe it's like a street fight sort
No,
of.
no, no, no. I could shed some light. About 25 years ago, probably a little bit less than that, the WWE signed Ken Shamrock, Dan Severn, and then they had Steve Blackman, and they had what's called a Lions Den match, which was basically like a UFC type cage, and the only way to win was by like submission or knockout. I think it'll be that. I think we haven't heard the rules yet, but I'm sure to be similar to that, to the Lions Den match, and so that's my 2 cents on that. I think it'll be similar to that. It'll be like like I said, it'll be a scripted UFC fight, MMA fight. Drew McIntyre, Karrion Kross strap match. So I love Karrion Kross's representation. They've kind of erased his little run on Raw. Kind of just like reintroduced him straight from NXT. Who do you think takes this strap match?
Um, McIntyre.
You think so?
Yeah, McIntyre.
Is it just to keep that momentum that we discussed earlier? Or do you think
Keep the
they do?
momentum because we don't even know if Rock is coming. We don't know.
Right, we
We
don't know
don't
yet.
know.
That's true.
This is a safety. It's gonna be a great match because Karrion Kross is very talented as a wrestler,
Hmm.
and like Scarlett being next to him, like it gives that all around like picture that they want to present, and it makes his character flow. But they can make this work as far as like him taking that loss.
No, I appreciate it. No, that's it. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, I don't want to ruin Ross's momentum as well. I think they could really. I think now that Triple H's vision of it, which is a vision that I had, which is he has a great presentation, as you mentioned. He has his valet, his girl Scarlett, which I think gives him a better aura. And I think using the storyline, his gimmick from NXT, as opposed to whatever Vince tried to do in Raw was horrible, and they kind of just like said, "Hey, it never happened," right? So I love it, but I don't know. It's hard for me to do a pick here, but I agree. I think if there's no Rock, I guess Drew. But I think if there's a Rock, I guess Karen, right? Just to, continue that storyline.
Right.
Edge, Finn Balor. What do you think? Who do you think? In an I Quit match, there was rumors this week that I read that Finn Balor, they have high plans for him. I think Triple H loves, is a big fan, and I think I am too. And I don't know why Vince. He's another guy that was like lost in the shuffle. Who do you think wins this match? I think it'll be a interesting finish. I don't think it'll be a clean I quit. But what do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think it's Edge. It's Edge. Like it just goes into the fan favoritism at this point because the match card may be like my predictions is just could be like very disappointing of like the baby faces like losing and stuff.
Hmm.
And yeah, like Edge being that one baby face to win, I could see Finn Balor just like screaming, "I quit."
I do too, but if they're gonna rebuild him, I think he's gonna have to. I know, wins and losses don't matter in wrestling because it's pre-scripted, but I think he needs a few wins, right, in order to be a believable main eventer again. So I don't know. I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna say Balor. I think it'll be like a dirty finish. I think the Edge will be knocked out and he can't quit, something like that. I think it'll be. It won't be like a clean match. That I know.
Right.
I think Gargano's fighting Theory. I believe. Oh no, those are predictions. These are not happening. I think.
Okay. I see the Brawling Brutes against the Imperium.
Is that official?
Yeah, that's official. An old fashioned Donna Brooke match.
Oh wow. Okay.
So like a 3-on-3 street fight, like tornado tag team match. Like
They're
that's gonna be
getting
great.
pushed, Brawling Brutes. I actually like them now that
I
they.
like them. I like them together. They've grown on me.
Me too.
But Imperium is different. Imperium
Right.
is different. You can't deny like the European like they're both European, but there's like European Gothic. Like it's sick. For me, it's awesome. But I think Imperium takes this one.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard for me to say, but what I can tell you is I like them both. I like the Imperium. I like the presentation, like Gunther, Walter, whatever you want to call him. And I agree with you. More of an NXT UK, that UK style. Everyone's not a fan of it. I am. I don't mind. It's more, what is it, hard hitting, like similar to what we saw with Gunther and Sheamus, right?
Mhm.
Um, and then you have the Barlin Brutes. I like them too. They've grown on me. Yeah, it's hard for me to pick. You picked who'd you pick? You pick Imperium.
Imperium.
I'll go the other way. Let's say Barlin Brutes just to go again.
Whoa, we're gonna wow, we're basically splitting this
Exactly,
card.
this event, exactly.
We
So we'll
get it.
see.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I think that's the card for Extreme Rules. I don't think Crown Jewel has been fully booked. The only match we do know is Logan Paul against Roman, right, in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people were against it because, hey, this guy's a part timer, he's a YouTuber, he's a podcaster coming out. What are your thoughts on that? I think it's
I
Saudi Arabia.
think
To me, Saudi Arabia. It does. It's fine. It's a novelty. Roman will win, so I don't understand like what's
right,
the
right. It
heat.
is a novelty to be honest with you, but this is just a great way to just like put Logan Paul up on that like main event card because I think he could really go with he really went with like Mysterio and Dominic and he's gone face the Miz and like he's shown like his attitude in the ring
He's
is
actually
is
pretty
very
athletic. He's like pretty athletic.
very athletic, and his profile in the ring it suits him very well. He goes against a top tier main event star, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is one of the best wrestlers of all time.
Hmm.
Roman Reigns could make him look like he's been doing it for 10 plus years, and it's gonna be a classic.
I don't know about a classic, but it'll be a good
It's
match.
gonna be a classic. It's gonna be a classic. I
We'll
think
see.
that it's Triple H. Logan Paul's on the Triple H's wing, so I just think that like it's gonna come down to like why you should watch Crown Jewel, right? Or why you should watch that pay-per-view overseas. Like it's just gonna be one of those matches that is gonna be like, okay, cool. Like you could use this as an example of why you shouldn't underestimate anybody in wrestling, and you should like that's like something like it could be well promoted if done
Absolutely,
right. Yeah.
absolutely. Last thing is in regards to that is what was I tell you? What did I say something? I think all right. So that's it in regards to WWE, right? Just wanted to give a quick transition. Have you been following the whole CM Punk, the what happened at All Out? What are your thoughts? We haven't
Yes.
spoken since then. Like, what are your
So
thoughts on
so
that?
so very quickly because I think my battery may be finished soon. You CM Punk, a quitter again. To be honest with you, I guess he could have gone in a different route, but he wanted to. He wanted to. I guess understand what he wants to defend his honor as far as like his personal life and his personal relationships with like his friends and all,
Sure.
and like with like the Young Bucks like I don't know. I think he had Hangman Page that was like trying to exploit him in front of
Yeah, yeah.
everybody, and
Hmm.
he was just like, "Whoa, like where did that come from?"
Yeah.
I get it, and yeah, like I guess like just wrestling is not for you right now. To be honest with you, like you're awesome. Like the fans still like you, but you gotta create yourself. You got to reinvent yourself because you're not going back to the same promotion that you once were, or but you know if you're expecting something and it doesn't work out, then I guess you could just, you can move on and figure things out from there. But if wrestling is really your passion, then these things shouldn't happen. That's where
Yes,
I
and
think.
especially in front of everyone, right? I think those kind of things should have happened behind closed doors, and I really just like, I mean, excuse my French, be a bitch about it, and then do it in front of the media, right?
Right.
I just, and then I think Tony did a bad job as far as not being
Oh
able to
yeah.
like, put the brakes on it. He just said, look, guys, in regards to this, it's a private matter, and then we'll discuss, it'll be discussed amongst, the performers, and then afterwards, just have a conversation with him. He just let them on ramble on, and didn't stop him. I thought that was a bad look on TK's part, but I guess the right move was to strip him, right, not to do another interim thing, and yeah, and I think there's now even legal repercussions, right, with the elite. That's why they haven't been on TV, haven't been posting their BTE show on YouTube. And I think there's even rumors that they might even buy out his contract, which, he made Tony really look bad. Right? So we'll see. What do you think is the future for
Yeah.
Punk? He'll go back to movies and
He's gonna probably start his own wrestling promotion at this point.
so I don't see him going back to the WWE, which you never know. I think
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think that this they just WWE's not gonna open the door for him.
Mhm.
Not at all. Maybe they'll put him in like a rumble match, maybe, but that's like those the odds on that. Like to be honest with you, like, but AEW off, WWE off. Um, maybe he goes to Japan.
Maybe that's the only logical thing,
Maybe if
right?
he wants to keep wrestling and keep his wrestling promotion up there.
Hmm.
But as far as like going back to like full time and like him being on storylines, like intriguing storylines, and
Yeah,
people
he
want to see.
he lost the locker room, like the trust of the locker room, right? So it's tough to go back to that, right?
Yeah,
Unless I don't know. So I just felt, obviously, I am a man of business, have my own business too, and obviously have my stuff during the day. That's definitely not the way to do that, right?
yeah, he's
You
now a
definitely
proven liability to any company that he
right.
steps in.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%. What are your thoughts on Paige and her return and her promo? Did you watch the promo on Wednesday? It was
I didn't, but she goes by Soraya now, right?
Soraya, her real
She
name,
yeah,
yeah, her
yeah,
given name, right?
her given name, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, it's good for her. I mean, I don't know if she's gonna be able to wrestle again because I know she had like
yeah,
she's
she
been
had neck issues. We're not even sure she was clear if she's medically cleared. I didn't hear it at least in the promo. It was a very confusing promo on Wednesday. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm not. I like Paige personally, but I'm not high as far as the way she bashed the WWE. I think in the first promo, but I think that's like a normal thing, right? Tony says, "Make sure you bash WWE," because
right.
I felt that they gave her all the time to heal. They paid her while she was injured. She did the show backstage. They let her write out her contract. They did a nice little tribute video posts on social media. So I didn't see why she had to bash
I don't think
WWE.
I guess say bye to Hall of Fame for that one because she was the
Right.
youngest. She was the youngest Divas champion, the youngest women's champion. Say bye to that. If it was that bad, because I have not seen the promo.
Watch
But
it.
if
I highly suggest you to watch it. It'd be very
yeah, I will
interesting.
watch it and I'll get back to you on that one because like that's very unnecessary because
Yeah.
like her going to AEW that was enough, to make it
Yeah,
her going to
exactly.
AEW.
Right.
That that just shows that like she's now like a puppet in AEW. Like that was just like me like switching up on her quick because she's good, she's talented. Like I'm ready for her to like to put the AEW women's division on the map.
Yeah, it was confusing. I didn't know if she was going to be GM or if she was going to be like a performer. I mean, if she has a neck that's like very like I think it's like one blow from being I wouldn't. I honest unless she's medically cleared. And even if she was, I wouldn't put myself at risk like that. I could see her more of a managerial role, like a kind of authority. They don't have an authority figure in AEW now. I think she'd be great for that. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see where it goes with Saraya. And then the last thing, and then we'll wrap up is what do you think of Andrade? He's Andrade El Idolo. He's been posting things like, "Hey, TikTok, time, this and that." So on Rampage. I watched Rampage last night, some of it, and Andrade, he's gonna fight 10 from the Dark Order in a masked versus career match next week. There's been rumors that a lot of the AEW guys want to go back to the WWE, right? That are Triple H's babies, right? Kids like Aleister Black, Adam Page. Those are all rumors, right? By the way, and Andrade is one of those guys, right? So what do you think? Do you think Tony Khan is a guy, and he's already said it on Busted Open Radio. He is not the type to really release folks from their contracts and would sign folks to be a dick move and not go back to the WWE. Do you think he loses? Like, what are your thoughts on? Do you think he loses next week, and does he get released? What are your thoughts on that?
I honestly think that whatever works for his wrestling, I think he's more inclined to like.
Oh, go ahead. There you go.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be more inclined to like just wrestling at this point. Like I don't think anything matters to him. Like he's pretty much stable, right? He has his like wife and like worst case scenario, I don't think he's really much worried about like any contract or anything that matter. Anything like a political, from a political standpoint, I think he's more just wrestling. So anything that's gonna elevate him as a performer and get him a better gig or any of that matter, I think it's good for his picture, and I don't think anything gets affected.
Oh, sorry. Don't report. There you go. Excellent. Hey, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I know TK is very adamant about who he releases and not release. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, he's not hurting for money per se, as you mentioned. Charlotte Flair is one of the best women, or if not the best woman on the roster on the WWE side, depending on who you ask. And yeah, financially they're fine. The question is, will TK do the right thing and release him if he's not happy, right? My thoughts on Andrade, and it's similar to Santo Escobar, right, from NXT. Amazing worker, except Santo has better promo skills, right? Amazing. Andrade is an amazing worker. He just obviously has a language barrier, and then his mic skills aren't the best, right? So I always thought that him and Zelina Vega, right, was always a great pairing because she could be his mouthpiece, and that's why he did so well in NXT. He just needs a mouthpiece to me at this point, like a Paul Heyman or folks.
And I don't think Selena was the right mouthpiece for him. It's just he's so good that he had to be intrigued in his storyline. Like you just had to like watch how he wrestles, and then you'll get what Selena will be saying about him. But Zelina to be that mouthpiece, like a Paul Heyman mouthpiece, like I could. Andrade, the sky's the limit for that guy with a proper mouthpiece.
There you go. I agree. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that, right? And then of course they signed. Last but not least, they signed Rush to All Elite, his boy. Congrats to that. And I believe they signed Bandido from ROH, former ROH champ. And I think the new storyline is Jericho fighting former ROH world champions. So we'll see where that goes. I'm interested to see where that goes. All right, sir. And then Pac is fighting Trent Barreta from Best Friends. So, all right, so we'll see what happens with AEW. This is a picture of me at Grand Slam, and I should be going to Full Gear. I'll let you know if I go. We'd love to do a little recap of that, and I'm definitely going to put this out shortly. So it's been a pleasure speaking about everything, right? Antonio Inoki, the White Rabbit, Triple H, the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and a little bit of AEW we did, right? So we're excited, all right? So we're happy to be back, and we're going to be more consistent, and we're going to build out our site and all that. It should be real fun. And of course, my guy Vibes, and shout out to Vibes, shout out to Maimbe. They are not gone. They're just not in this episode. Thank you, Currency. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the opportunity.
All right, take care. Choked Out Radio. A lot to talk about. Signing out. Thank you, guys.